Okay, here's the video I promised you guys on the wireless timing system that we have for the SpeedCup that we've been using. Me and Michael Shaggy Parker have been using for the past few years to do the timing for the speed course for the SpeedCup. So you're going to receive the box. Inside the box is what you need for the timing system. So let's open this up and go over what's in the box. You get your JETI radio. This is a DS14. I'm not sure if the app works on a DS12, but it works on the DS14 and up. Put that off to the side. You have your timing clicker for the left side. It's labeled left on the front and it's labeled left on the back. You have your timer clicker for the right side, and you have it labeled right on the front, labeled right on the back. And then also in the box is the charge cable for the radio, to charge the radio if you need to, although the radio should be charged when you receive it. And then a USB cable that you can use to hook the radio up to a computer if you feel the need to, but you probably won't need to do that. Okay, so let's close this up. And next, we're going to go over how to turn everything on. Okay, so we got a radio here. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah. Greg should be very familiar with this because he's had a JETI radio before. And just hit the power button, turn it on, and hopefully that's viewable in the monitor there. Okay, so it's already set for speed timer. And then speed timer is just this particular model. And it's already set for that. You just click yes. And there's a knob here to turn the volume up and down. Okay, that's the speed timer app. It already comes up where it's supposed to be at. You don't have to change anything. Just turn it on. Okay, next we got our clickers. Inside each clicker is a receiver pack, a JETI REX7 receiver, and then these. This is a box with a button, and then there's two wires, the signal and negative wire coming back to here to the receiver, plugged into one of the ports on the receiver. And then I've got a little extension cable here to easily plug in the power from the receiver pack. So you want to plug in the power first for one side and match up the polarity, black to black. Plug that in, and then move the wires out the way, close the box back up, and then grab the other one, open it up. Same thing, receiver pack, JETI receiver, and then you plug the power in for that too. Line up the polarity, black to black, plug it in. And then you'll hear the radio attached to the receivers. You'll hear that beeping sound. That means the radio has picked up both of the receivers and it is communicating with the JETI radio. Okay, so now that you've got your clickers turned on, let me go over what's on the app screen. So you have left side, right side, and then you have a listing of all the times and the speeds for each time over there. And let's bring this a little closer so you can see it better. So left side time, right side time, and then it'll list each pass, each run with the time and the speed for each pass that the pilot does. And let's go ahead and just do a quick demonstration here. So let's pretend like The pilot's in the center, the helicopter's in the center. He takes off, flies this way, turns around, and is flying from right to left. Once he passes the trigger man on the right, he flies past this way, the trigger man on the right hits the button, the timer starts. He's flying through the course. He passes the trigger man on the left, he hits the button, the timer stops. And you can see for that particular pass, it took him 7.52 seconds. Okay. He's going up, he's turning around on the left-hand side. Now he's coming back past this way. He's coming past this way. The trigger man on the left sees him, hits the button. He flies past, flies through the course, flies past the trigger man on the right. He sees him, he hits the button. Now the pilot's over here and turning around, getting ready to come back past again. He passes the guy on the right, flies through the course, passes the guy on the left, hits the button. So on and so forth, back and forth, both directions. And the app keeps track of everything. Let's do one more pass. Let's go past the left, hits the button, flies through, passes the right, hits the button. Okay, so now we've got 4 passes. So let me bring this a little closer. So now you can see, hopefully you can see that, but you've got times for 4 passes right here. It gives you the time for each one of the passes. It gives you the speed for each one of the passes. The speed is in kilometers per hour. For this particular one, the last time I used it, the course length was set to 120 meters. But you'll have to do your own conversion to convert the speed to miles per hour. And you can look that up online for the formula to translate that to miles per hour. I was going to work with a developer to make another version of the app to list both kilometers per hour and miles per hour, but haven't had a chance to get in touch with him to do that yet. Pay no attention over here on the right, on the left, where it says average speed, and for up here. This is the average of all of these 4 times and speeds. For the SpeedCup, we don't use the total average. What we do is we take the fastest pass from the left and the fastest pass from the right, and we average those 2. So again, I have to work with the developer to change this. So ignore the average time and speed right there. Okay. Let me show you how to change one of the settings, because this was last used and the course length was set to 120 meters. So for your big helicopters, you're going to want to set that to make sure that's set to 200 meters. So you're going to want to push the menu button, go down to Apps, Applications, and then Speed Timer. And then up the top, we have the first one listed there is course length. It's set to 120. You just scroll up till you get to 200. Say OK. And just double check that. Yep, 200. Okay, and then you press Escape to go back. Now we're back at the same screen. The course length now is 200. So for now, for your next pilot or your next speed runs, the course length and the speed will be calculated on a 200-meter course instead of a 120-meter course. Okay, so now let's say your pilot is done flying and you have written down the times and the speeds for this particular pilot. Now you're ready for pilot number 2. You need to reset this so everything is 0. That's this trigger right here. So you hit this button, push it up, everything sets to 0. Now you're ready for pilot number 2, and pilot number 2 can go up and he can take off from either side, left or right, and the trigger man on either side will start the timer and stop the timer, just like I showed you before. Okay. So I showed you how to reset it. I showed you how to change the settings for the course length. So let's say you're finished with the day, you're ready to turn it off. All you have to do is the same thing you did before. Open up the box. Oh, let me show you one more thing before I do that. The arrow right here, if you press this, this shows you the voltage of each receiver pack and the signal strength for each receiver pack, for each trigger button. So you got 2 antennas on each one. And as long as the trigger man on either side is holding the box up, you should not have any problems with signal. And then you should not have any problems with the voltage, because you can see the voltage. These are life receiver packs. So 6.5 volts is right where it's supposed to be at for each one of those receiver packs. And you press the arrow back to get back to this screen right. And then this is just a model. So if you press the menu button and go to model, select model, SpeedCup timer is the actual model. So if I go to Galway X7, it says wrong model selected. So we don't want that. No. I'm going to go back to SpeedCup timer, receiver bound. This is the correct model. Okay. And then let's just show you one more time. Hit the button on the left. It starts the timer. It passes on the right. Stops the timer. He's turning around. He's coming back past. Hit the button. It starts the timer. He passes on the left. Hits the button. It stops the timer. So now he's done 2 passes. And let's pretend like your pilot is done and you want to you've written all the times down. You'll have to write these down because it will not record them in the radio. You have to physically look at it and have somebody there to help you keep score and write the pilot's name down and write down the speeds and the times. So he's done, you're ready, and you hit the reset button. Now you're ready for pilot number 3. Okay, so let's pretend like it's the end of the day and you're ready to turn everything off. That's all you gotta do is open the box, grab the cord, the cable for the power for the receiver pack, unplug it, and then it'll tell you signal loss. Take the other box, open it, do the same thing, unplug the power. And then over here, just hit this start button to stop it. And then I'll stop it. And then just hit the power button, hold the power button down, really shut down, say yes. And you are done with your SpeedCup for that day. Okay. If you got any questions, give me a call.